Hi, today is going to be a very, very special day. Very, very special person, very, very special guest. Today on The Merdean Gales Show. Well, it seems like just yesterday, but again, we're ready to celebrate the Martin Luther King holidays. And with me is Lady Merdean Gales. Lady Gales, welcome back.
Oh, I tell you, it's good to be back. I tell you, it really is. Thanks again, Bernie. You've been around with us, I won't say how many years.
Well, you can.
But we know
many
it's, I know you have since the beginning of this holiday committee and all we do here in St. Louis. Much of what we celebrate was started by you when people dared to even take a step toward that.
You're so kind,
No, it's true. You remember those proclamations?
Very well.
We was walking around.
Yeah.
A city holiday.
There's been a lot of stuff,
Right.
a lot of years too. And but you're the catalyst behind all this, and I just want to thank you again because you take time out every year just to come and celebrate Dr. King. You lead the parades. You do so much. Tell us about what's going on this year.
This year is actually our 51st, even though we started 2 days after Dr. King's assassination.
68.
That's what April 4th, 1968. That was his birthday, but we celebrate his life.
Right.
And no, that was actually the assassination date.
Right.
But we celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. And this year is not different from the other years in terms of the structure of the day.
January 15th is actually his birthday.
January the 15th is the birthday. The holiday is January the 20th, 2020. And we start with a civic ceremony with dignitaries and speeches and statements of concern by elected officials and what have you in the rotunda of the old courthouse, which is actually the site of the Dred Scott decision.
Right.
So for families that are watching, we want you to make it a day of history for your young people to know what 4th and Market is, the old courthouse. You can't miss it. It looks like a court building. It looks like a small Capitol and what have you in other cities. And we'll have music, of course. And this year we are embarking upon a new day with music being one of the components of the Dr. Martin Luther King movement. We always thought that it always ended at the interfaith service of the church, but it begins with everything that Dr. Martin Luther King had going. There was always music. In fact, one year he had to say to some of us, and that's when I was very young, he said, "This is not a sing-along, this is a march." And it's not a parade, it's a march. And we marched from there. Right.
That was a big component of it, though.
That's
the
right.
Singing.
The singing, right. So we marched from there to down the streets of St. Louis to Leonard Baptist Church, which we say is located at Compton and Dr. Martin Luther King, because it does connect. You can see it from that. On the corner. And we used to walk like 2 miles almost to try to get to Dr. Martin Luther King, but you'll be right there at the historical Leonard Baptist Church, and the Reverend Dr. Bishop Stephen Thompson has always made it available to us for the last 3 or 4 years.
The church burned down, but they rebuilt it.
They sure did. It was on Grand Avenue.
Sure.
Right. So in the sanctuary, we will have the interfaith service. And the interfaith service this year will include, we said, the dignitaries that will be speaking and making statements of concern, again, as we continue it. But musically, we will have a singing aggregation. They've been together 30 years for Minister Michael Latchison and the Michael Latchison Singing Ministry. They will render the music, along with the famous Leanne Fame from the Thompson Community Choir in Chicago, Illinois. She's known for a song called The Holy Ghost. So for those of you that are watching, make sure you tell everybody, moving down in my soul. We want Dr. Martin Luther King to move down in your soul as we address those issues that he gave his life for. Progress, he was wanting us to create a beloved community. And so we're going to be still fighting those 3 evils, poverty, racism, and violence. And St. Louis, we need Dr. King. So you need to at least have some insight as to what he was about and who he truly was. So families, it's a day that It's for everybody.
He says a day of service.
It's a day of service. It's a whole day, a holy day, one that we've been trying to institutionalize so you can bring your young people. And as we dedicate that day, we're going to be showing some photos of them. We're dedicating the whole day to the life of I call him Dr. the Honorable Norman R. Say, who is actually the organizer of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday Committee. And you know him from the St. Louis Federation of Block Units, the Jefferson Bank demonstration and what have you. He was arrested mainly because he had young people marching.
Right.
You won't be arrested now. We want these young people because we've got to pass the mantle on the baton to someone. And the other person is the Honorable Dr. James H. Buford, who served the Urban League for some 27 years. But he gave so much to the community. In fact, for 10 years, he hosted the Dr. Martin Luther King Holiday Committee celebration at Powell Symphony Hall. You know, what he did for Missouri graduates. I mean, just Jim Buford was took the Urban League to higher heights. So you're going to come and to help honor them, along with so many others that we could call that were here last year. Name some that were here last year.
We're talking about Julius Dix.
That's right.
Ron Nichols.
Nichols.
We talked about so many women.
Frankie
Freeman,
That's right. What about Mary Polk?
Mary Polk,
And all of them were disciples of Dr. King.
Precisely.
And as you sit in your homes, think of those people that you know who gave so much to so many, even with so little burning. We got to thank you.
But you know something, Merdean, you, Lady Gales, I'm sorry.
That's all.
You've been marching. You know, you march through when it's warm, and you march through the snow. You've done it year after year after year. You've promoted Dr. King because you love Dr. King and knew Dr. King and Mrs. King. But what drives Merdean Lady Gales?
Well, you know what? I'm just going to tell you, like I heard someone say, there's something on the inside, and it's got to work on the outside. And when you have the opportunity to follow people and what they do and what they give, you become a disciple. We make disciples of each other. Last year, Bernie, you know we couldn't get into the old courthouse. We didn't cancel. The government buildings were closed.
Right. They
Our Secretary Treasurer is here who could vent that and tell you that is true. Pat Barber, and we have Gary Bort, who is our program coordinator. We said we're going to continue. Anthony Bell was Anthony Bell, a committeeman. He said we're going to go anyway. Darrell Gray, who was the Grand Marshal along with Anthony Bell. Nigel Word, who was an educator. Then we have Johnny Little. We have so many people that were involved.
And all these people alone.
Then Reverend Bill Anthony said, no, we're not going to cancel. We stood on the church steps. Bishop Hankerson gave the prayer. We had one or two statements. A young man painted a wonderful picture of Dr. King. You're going to see it this year. Wow. He got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, can I bring it? And he brought that, and we stood on those cold steps and still marched to Leonard Baptist Church for a wonderful interfaith ceremony. So our slogan is this: forever committed. You know why? The struggle still continues.
How can they get more information?
Oh, you can get information by calling us at 769, now you know the area code, 314. 769-1211.
We should say that just a bit slower.
Okay. MLK Holiday Committee, 769-1211. Okay. Or 314-458-6906. We want to make sure that you get your celebration button. Bernie, you got your button on?
I haven't.
All right. Do you have yours on out there? I don't know. Maybe they don't have this.
They have.
Call those numbers.
Okay.
769-1211 or 458-6906 here in St. Louis. And the kickoff is actually going to be January the 11th. Okay. The state commissioners, Harris-Stowe State University. Right. Our new commission woman is Dr. Smith, Latonia, of course, right? And of course, you know Dr. Dwayne Smith is the interim vice president. So it's all going to be about music. You know who's coming in? Peanut's nephew.
Kirk Whaler.
Kirk Whelan from Memphis,
He's running the
Tennessee.
Stax Museum.
Ain't that something?
In Memphis, Tennessee. That's great.
And can preach, too.
Wow.
Right, we're going to have a good time this year. January the 11th and then January the 20th. January the 20th you can remember because it's always the third Monday. That's the national holiday. I know you know that, Bernie. We had so many proclamations and things to try to get a holiday. St. Louis was one of the first.
I know. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. Norman Say was, I still see that picture of Norman placing the Dr. Martin Luther King street sign, replacing Dr. King, placing his name up there and taking it out, was it Franklin Avenue?
Easton.
Easton Avenue.
Easton Avenue.
Right.
And it's Dr. Martin Luther King Drive.
Now.
And you know what? When you come back, you know what the Honorable Norman R. Say wanted to do?
What?
We go all the way to Lucas Hunter. It's the longest running street in St. Louis, just about. He wanted to, and he was trying to do
take
that.
It past the county, ain't he?
Trying to take it past Lucas Hunter.
Right back with Merdean Gales.
We got some work.
You know, you see all these wonderful mugs here on the table. This is the Bernie Hayes show mug. Mm-hmm. This is Webster University. That's Webster University. This is Harris-Stowe State University. But Reverend Larry Rice would like for you to have one of these at home. And, you know, this is Christmas season. The holiday season is a great time to give one as a gift. And here's Reverend Larry Rice to tell you how you can get one.
Will you help New Life Evangelistic Center get back into 1411 Locust Street? Your tax-deductible gifts are urgently needed at this particular time. And there's many different ways that we're working to get back in that facility. One of the ways is to continue to inform the community through the Bernie Hayes Show and other programs. And if you haven't supported the Bernie Hayes Show and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center, please do it now. It's urgently needed. Your gifts are deeply appreciated. So many homeless people are waiting to get back into 1411 Locust, and so many others need the direct help that New Life is trying to provide at this time, but it's facing some real financial needs, and that's why your gift is very, very important. And to express our thankfulness for all of you that are sharing your gifts, we want to send you this special Bernie Hayes cup. It's my wife's favorite drinking cup. She loves to drink out of this cup, and this is actually the only coffee cup she wants to use is the Bernie Hayes cup. There's something very special about this cup, and we'll send it to each one of you that share a gift of $25 or more with the New Life Evangelistic Center and ask for your Bernie Hayes cup. It's P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. Your gift will not only help us get back into the 1411 Locust building, but will help our first responders that are on the streets, the first responders that we have out there day after day, night after night. It will help keep our women and children in our safe houses, continue to keep our training programs open, our worldwide mission work, whether it's in India, Haiti, Africa, so many different things the New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. In addition to NLEC TV, tell your family and friends about it. Put it on your phone. Put on your get that phone app on all your friends' phones so that they can all see the Bernie Hayes Show or go to 24.2. It's your prayers and gifts that make all of this possible. I thank God for those of you who continue to pray for the reopening of 1411 Locust and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. There's so many obstacles we're facing as we try to help the homeless, but we're going to continue to give it to God. We're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to work, but we need you to partner with us. So again, it's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. I thank God for each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing.
And welcome back. My guest is Lady Merdean Gales. Lady Gales, you've been associated with the Martin Luther King associations. There's so many of them, but there's this Holiday Committee, there's the one at Harris-Stowe State University, but you're involved in all of them. Tell us about some of your involvement.
Yes, the involvement is the MLK State Commission. Mm-hmm. It's made up of commissions all across the Missouri State, yes. Yeah. And when we say that, we're speaking of the Kansas City area, mm-hmm. The Boot Hill area. Of course, you know, the Honorable Mayor Cleaver, we still call him the mayor, all right?
Mayor Cleaver.
That's right, who actually in the Kansas City area, congressman, mm-hmm. and in the St. Louis area, and then we're down in the Boot Hill.
Okay.
Down in the Boot Hill, there's a lady whose name is Sherry Maxwell.
Down around the HI area.
Right, mm-hmm. all down in there, and Cape Dorado.
Sure.
Here in St. Louis, we have the Honorable Reverend Earl Nance, who met Dr. King when he was 9 years old. Wow. The Reverend Sammy Jones. They were all members of the commission, and of course, you know, from university down in Columbia, Missouri. Mm-hmm. I call him the movie star now. The movie they made about him. But of course, and then we have any number of people that are members of the commission mm-hmm. That are serving to make this a statewide celebration. And when we do that under the banner of those persons who have programs that are related to Dr. King. Okay. And of course, we want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. And that event, the kickoff takes place here in St. Louis on January the 11th, at Harris-Stowe State University. The pre-ceremony starts about 5 o'clock, and you will have remarks from elected officials. And of course, we're emphasizing jazz. That was a part of Dr. King's life, or music. Yeah. And I went to that, and I said Peanut's nephew, and we say Kirk Wheeler, who has been here in this area for a number of years. But on that commission, we have another person who's with a foundation known as Growing and Throwing. Actually, she's an Olympian who won several titles. Her name is Merrill Menzies Sigmund, and they're all involved with this commission. And the Honorable Betty L. Thompson. Yeah, yes. You know Betty? Betty walks too, right? We do. And
get up,
serving.
wake up, sail up.
That's it. What is it? Or shut up, right?
Shut up.
That you know her.
Shut up, yeah.
So Betty is a part of the commission, and we're excited because as we've talked about the late Dr. Jim H. Buford, we know that Dr. Michael Macmillan serves as our opening person in the rotunda of the old courthouse.
CEO now for Durban.
Yeah, he's the CEO, and he's taken it to higher heights. And so he's going to be with us on the 20th of January. All of them will be with us on the 11th, which leads to the 20th. But we're going to remember those names that we just gave you earlier, and that is Dr. Buford and the Honorable Norman R.S.A. Right. You were just talking about Norman, who he could change that voice, whatever. He was something, wasn't he? And you know what, Jim, the Honorable Norman R.S.A., he would say that whatever we do, we've got to make sure that we involve a global perspective. He was speaking of religion also. Race, he was saying blacks, whites, all of the in-between, Asian Americans, people from everywhere. And then he would say Christian and Jews. And we would have to make certain that our program embraced all of that. We did that. And of course, you know, with Dr. James Buford, it was truly the same. True. Because that's what the Urban League was doing. Right. Equalizing life's opportunity for our people. So we embrace all of them. And we want to make sure they get their Dr. King celebration button.
How can they get it again?
Right. The celebration, you're going to talk about it again?
Yeah, how can they get the number?
The buttons, okay. 314-769-1211, 314-458-6906.
You mentioned Norman R.S.A., who was a dear friend to both of us. But each time I talk about Norman Say and Lady Gales, I got to remind the people that in 1968, April the 4th, 1968, when Dr. King was assassinated, it was you and Norman Say that qualmed and kept St. Louis peaceful. They were burning down cities all over the country, but you and Norman Say went on the front line to tell people why you want to burn down your own neighborhoods.
You remember that?
Oh, very well.
I mean, we did that. And
everybody should know that.
I was really a young one then. I know I didn't want my house burned up, and I didn't want to be burned up either. You know.
But you were out front. You and Norman.
Yeah, we did. In my prayers at night, I used to pray, Lord, don't let our house burn up. Yeah. Don't let nothing happen to my mom and daddy. And here you're going to come in here with something about nothing. Yeah. And when I'm saying about nothing, it has nothing to do with respect for life. Exactly. And those are the things that we have to do. And I was thinking then, because a lot of times you hear people talking about the young people today, well, they did the same thing when my dad was a child. Sure. And he's 104 years old now. He said the youth were concerned. My concern is, if youth are so bad, how can they be so bad if we were so good? Yeah. It's something that we had to be remiss in. So there's a lost generation. So you know what you got to do? These people who are out there, and you know them, they're your children, they're all of our children. You know what they're doing and what they shouldn't be doing. What you've got to do is go into that house, when I say in the house, that's your house, and make it a home. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? Yeah. You've got to make your kitchen a place for nutrition. You know, that they could eat healthy meals.
You know, I could talk to you for 30 years, actually, and not depend on all the things you've done. You've been in the healthcare industry so much. I mean, not just in the healthcare industry, but you are deep into the healthcare industry. Yes. And I want to know, we only have about a minute left this segment, Merdean. You're a broadcaster, you're a television pioneer, but this right The state of health care for African Americans in St. Louis is dismal.
It is because of the lack of education.
Okay.
You do understand. We've got to know a lot about physiology and anatomy. Anatomy is the structure of the body. Physiology is the function. And you know, back in the day, there were two main professions in St. Louis: medicine, nurses, come on, and teaching.
And teaching.
And so I'm going to try both of them. I ran the Harris-Stowe.
And you did it.
And then went on and graduated from the Jewish Hospital College of Radiology and served for 35 years as a chief of radiology. Jim Buford's office was in there, you know, Missouri graduates and what have you. And went on after that. Understand, if your body is healthy, then you'll want to do more.
I just remember all your white uniform.
Oh, yes, we did. That's right.
So many memories. We're here at the New Life Evangelistic Center. We're at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. My guest today is Lady Merdean Gales. We're talking about the Dr. Martin Luther King celebrations. But you can help us out because the services that were provided for all of you at 1411 Locust Street are now provided here at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. They're still paying utility bills. They're still giving clothing, still serving food. You know, people talk about, wow, we're going to give away turkeys for Christmas. We're going to give away turkeys for Thanksgiving. They feed you for that one day. But the New Life Evangelistic Center feeds you every day. The day before Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, the day before Christmas, the day after Christmas, March, April, May, June, every day of the month, every day of the year. And we need your help and support. You can help us through Post Office Box 473. St. Louis, Missouri, 63166. Everything is tax deductible. Or online at www.newlifeevangelisticcenter. That's one word, newlifeevangelisticcenter.org. MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover Card. Takes less than 2 minutes for that tax deductible gift to the New Life Evangelistic Center. Back with Merdean Gales after this.
Hello, I'm Larry Rice, Director of the New Life Evangelistic Center. And before the closing of 1411 Locust by developers that moved into the area and condominium owners, so many people were getting helped at 1411 Locust. Men, women, and children, all hours of the day and night. Church services were being held. The work of God was going forward. Satan was mad. It got shut down. Now we need to reopen it. In order to do that, we need people to help circulate these petitions. It's in this just a petition drive. We want to take it straight to the voters of the city of St. Louis, but we need to get some 25,000 signatures. And we can do this if caring people will go to work with us right now at this time, help circulate these petitions among the registered voters in the city of St. Louis. You can get yours by calling us at 421-3020. That's 421-3020. Let's have church services in there again. Let's directly help the people as Jesus told us to do. Let's do it. We can win this battle if you'll call now, 314-421-3020, and join us in going to work and getting these signatures. We can do it. Let's do it for the glory of God.
We'll return to our guests after this Black History Moment. Today's subject, Robert Abbott, an African-American news businessman and lawyer. He received his law degree in 1899 and was told that he was too dark to practice law in America. On May 5, 1905, he started the Chicago Defender. The Defender became the national newspaper with a circulation of 250,000 in 1929. Abbott's editorials demanded full equality for blacks. The Defender fought for social justice and political and economic equality and attacked discrimination, segregation, and lynching. Hundreds of thousands of blacks moved north because of his newspaper. Because of Abbott, the Defender became a thriving national institution. He died of Bright's disease on February the 20th, 1940, and left the paper in control of an heir of his nephew, John Senstack. Robert Abbott, creator of the Chicago Defender newspaper. Today's subject and our Black History Moment.
Now you can take NLEC TV anywhere as you put the NLEC TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. NLEC TV is an innovative TV station that's on the cutting edge of community service. When you tune in to NLEC TV, you'll discover a television station that has been operated by previously homeless individuals who've received broadcast training through New Life Evangelistic Center's unique on-the-job training program. On NLEC TV, you'll discover wholesome family, community, renewable energy, and inspirational programming. Those needing energy assistance, food, clothing, or freedom from the cycle of homelessness will find that plus much more on NLEC TV. Now, you can receive NLEC TV by going to 24.2 on your television set or putting the NLEC TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. For further information, call 314-436-2424 or go to NLECSTL.org. That's NLECSTL.org.
Talk about a day of service. A young lady who never lets a day go by without providing services to someone, either spiritually or in other ways, feeding, talking, providing that needed spirit that one needs to carry on. Lady Merdean Gales has been doing that for years and years and years. And Lady Merdean Gales, I just want to say thank you so much for all that you do. And once again, you were very involved in creating the holidays for Dr. Martin Luther King. And once again, tell us about this year's celebration.
Okay, you said that, but when you say that, I hope I just got a minute to say, don't leave yourself out.
Well,
you need to put a hand on yourself and here's selfie, because that's what I've done.
You always
and you know
do that.
what?
You
Let
always,
me tell you what.
You
when you eat
always,
too much, the body gets overweight, right?
Yeah.
So when you have the ability to share what the Lord has given to you or the resources that you're about, you'll be top heavy as a person. So that's the reason you want to continue to serve and help others.
You always share. And
that's what it is, about sharing and caring. Yeah. And this year, I gave 2 dates, and they're going to be hearing about them.
Okay.
January the 11th, the kickoff at Harris-Stowe State University, and then January the 20th for the Martin Luther King Holiday Committee. It's always a national holiday. The 3rd Monday, we start at the old courthouse.
Right.
Put on your shoes, bundle up. One thing about it, we never cancel.
Never cancel.
We never cancel.
Regardless of the weather.
We're going to march from there
Right.
to the Leonard Baptist Church for the interfaith service. And of course, there are persons who are from radio and television. I can think about Minister Chuck Spearman and Lady Evangelist 24 Karat Gold. They're going to be handling that early service. It starts at 9 a.m. at the old courthouse, with music and speeches of concern. And then we march to Leonard Baptist Church for the interfaith service. This is all on January the 20th. Okay. We will not cancel. Call somebody, tell them to join us. This is Lady Merdean, and this is Bernie Hayes at the New Life Evangelistic Center, telling you again this year, we are forever committed, for the struggle continues.
It's so amazing because each and every year you're fired up about it. But you do so much every day of the year.
I'm fired up. I
see you every place.
We got that Dr. King banner. Remember them twins, Marvin and Melvin Carr?
Certainly.
They're going to be out there with that banner. We're going to be walking.
But you're in Chicago, you're in Memphis, you're in Detroit, you're in Philadelphia. How do you do it?
That's what you got to do. Keep some good shoes and make sure that you meet people who are in need of services, regardless of whatever it is, because poverty, racism, and violence are the 3 evils of which Dr. King gave his life for. Right. And we're still fighting them here, strong in St. Louis, regardless of who you are, but we're doing it because of whose you are. And as we fight those evils, we will help to create that beloved community. We thank all of our pastors that have been ambassadors and those that have been involved over the years.
We just want to say thank you so much. And please give our love to Reverend Minister Hosea Gales.
I will do that, yes.
Merdean, you've been involved in so many different churches and Christian events that I just want to say thank you. It's such a pleasure knowing you. My heart is full every time I hear Merdean Gales.
Thank you. You got it going on because you got music in your house.
Thank you, Lady Gales. And we're here at New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road. No matter what you give, no matter what donation you make, no matter what investment you make, it's tax deductible. And no donation, no contribution, anything is too small because every dime is used for those that are in need. I'm Bernie Hayes. I want to thank Lady Gales. And don't forget now, Martin Luther King celebrations are on their way. Have a good day.